Hello, Reconnaissance, and welcome back to Combat Mission Black Sea. We are continuing charge of the Heavy Brigade, where thus far we've been demonstrating the advantage the US tanks seem to have in optics and spotting, especially in kind of low light conditions. Although you may notice this is a little bit brighter than we had last time. That's because I've used the kind of night mode version. So you see we can toggle this off and put it back on again. So appreciate to Kyle Holgart for pointing out the video is a little bit dark when it's rendered, and to Chris Morris for giving me the shortcut and saving me having to look it up. So appreciate that feedback. Thus far, we have exchanged, I believe it is 5 Russian tanks for 3 American servicemen. So that's a fairly good return on investment thus far. We have been holding our tanks in a kind of, not quite an overall position, but in a slightly further back position on this left-hand flank, giving them into kind of good static positions with good lines of sight, and really allowing the enemy to make themselves known, and then obviously engaging and taking them out. Meanwhile, on my right hand side here, we're a little bit more aggressive, also moving up with a platoon of our infantry. We did have a few close calls with a couple of Russian tanks, although ultimately it's pretty much gone our way, with the exception of a loss of a few servicemen in the middle. So the plan for this one will be again to keep our kind of our tanks slowly moving forward when they ever get a break, and using some of this smoke to do so, and again trying to essentially engage the Russians when they make themselves known. Now, assuming the Russians move around in the same kind of 4 tank platoons, then it would indicate that this is the last main battle tank out of this platoon on this flank, and there's another couple moving around on that flank, plus obviously potential for HQ units, but at least give us a bit of a frame. We also know that they've obviously got some infantry on the move. It looks like these guys are heading out towards Objective 2, so we'll see where they end up, and we already know they have deposited 1 infantry squad into this town that looks onto the back of Objective Blue. So it's grand. So as we move in, all I have done in interim is give a move order to this tank to get him to scooch up using cover of the smoke and take position in the crook of a building, and I've also asked our Javelin team here to reposition where they should get line of sight onto this T-90 when the smoke clears. There's a lot of smoke on the map at the minute, as all the tanks have panicked and let off their smoke canisters. I think we'll first off just let things resolve. We do have a UAV which we may need to reposition. Oh, that's a good start to things. So let's go. I do know how to play through it, but this HQ tank, which I believe is 3 kills to his name already, and is showing why he's the boss, is we did set him up in a great position, line of sight onto the side of Objective Blue here. Makes a shot, makes a kill. No danger at all. Poor T-90 probably didn't even know what hit it. Be interesting to see if there is any reaction from the turret here. So he does, presumably gets the laser warning, which is what causes the turret to swivel and point down direction of incoming fire, as well as pop smoke, but it is too late. But then they are gone. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Right, let's reposition so we can see the map before we carry on. So, okay, one more tank contact on this right side, which I think I knew about but may have forgotten. And things go slightly quiet. So I would love to catch these BMPs before they discharge their troops. And it might be worth moving our UAV over to this, close towards Objective Blue, to see where they do end up. Because we've got a reasonable idea of what's going on here. There's be also 1 squad here, 1 squad in these trees. We've got some mortars coming in. We may need to reposition them, because I think they are... Let's have a look where their mission is. Right, get it done there. Who's calling these guys in? Oh, it's my HQ is. Oh, using the UAV, yeah. So we're calling in on the objective itself, but I don't think there's actually anyone here. When I had planned it, I thought that some of the BMPs might come in and drop the troops off, but it looks like they've taken up positions kind of on looking the objective itself. So I think what we're going to do is adjust this mission. And then we can kind of hit either. But let's start maybe on the trees. We'll do a quick mission there, and then we'll move back and do another one on the houses. The only thing it is going to tie up our UAV. I'm just going to have to accept that's the case before we get better spotting. But that's okay. I would like to move up and recover both buddy aid with troops and recover the javelin, but I don't want to send more infantrymen into the guise of a tank. So we'll probably have to maybe just wait a few minutes for that smoke to clear. We do have a lot of time on the clock, and likewise we probably want to clear up conditions a little bit. We were expecting another platoon to come in at some point, but as yet they have not appeared. Make sure I'm not hiding down in this corner. Nope. It is only going to be 2 tanks, but it's still a welcome force. Ooh, bit close. Oh, it could be Russian artillery actually. We may need to reposition. Ideally I'd like to position forward and get ready to kind of sweep through these infantry positions and take objective blue. Ooh. Oh dear. I think my spotters may have got spotted by a tank. Yep, that's exactly what happened. T90 there. Disappointing. I thought they would be hidden from his view. Alright, we'll go back and watch it. Let's watch through the whole minute and then we'll pick out the exciting bits so people can have a better thought about exactly what's going on. Yeah, that's annoyingly that's them now on target. But we've just said, actually, could you readjust? Well, interesting. Looks like these guys are now repositioning into the objective itself. Okay, let us go back. So we do hit a BMP, one of our Abrams in this Overwatch position. Gets contact. Good night. Not sure if he'll have discharged his troops already or not. Difficult one to tell. And towards the end I just want to check out where our infantry squad here was manoeuvring to. Nowhere that different yet. Okay. Good. This guy still remains a bit of a problem, but we do have a javelin team in position who will get views once the smoke clears. Of course, we had that before, and unfortunately got intercepted by the APS, which could definitely happen again. It's a bit annoying to have lost my FO as well, but we'll not peek our heads over the top there. One thing I will do though is I'm going to maneuver this position slightly so you're on this shoulder, so you've got a bit of a view down to this valley here. Just in case you get sight of, well, that. I suspect he's about to come... Oh, he's not. I was going to say he's about to come a cropper to our tank line here, but perhaps not. And we still think there might be a tank over here, so I'm not going to rush into anything. We've got a lot of time in the bank. We've done some nice initial damage. Now it's just about maintaining our... nice. Maintaining our force and not taking unnecessary casualties as we push forward. I'm also going to hide the 2 objectives because I don't think we need to see these all the time now. Okay, it looks like our javelin team has now got sight of this tank. There it goes. APS. And again. But interestingly, the just a 25mm from Bradley's getting the job done. This is an interesting little engagement, actually. Okay, definitely want to go back and see what's going on there. Okay. That was the wrong buttons. First thing, let's have a look at this kind of carnage. So we've got our, I say team, it's one surviving soldier who had to recover the actual javelin missile itself off a dead comrade. Where's your... Oh, maybe you don't get any spot. Maybe it's all from the Bradley. Okay, I take it back. Clearly I haven't positioned you that well. It is, it's the Bradley's launching ATGMs. Okay. There we go. APS saving it. Do you get a second one away? You do. Quite succession as well. This 25mm Sabo rounds just punching through the lower hull here. So one thing I want to check is what happens to that round the Russian tank fires. Is that hard to see actually? It's coming into your perspective. It's probably a more sensible way of doing it. I think he might hit that hill there, though it's hard to see which one's his rounds and which one's the blast from a 25mm cannon. Yeah, he does. Hits the hill. So I'm going to say, I'm guessing maybe his engine's knackered by this point. And we've kicked up so much dust we can't see him anymore. I'm sorely tempted to bring my Abrams round the corner. Because I think he's obviously not looking the right way. And that'll allow us to presumably engage before he gets his turret on target. We also, I believe, blew up another BMP. Somewhere along here. There it is, into the trees. You can just see the line of when they come into our spotting range. Excellent. So, are you guys still... let's get into our command phase. Let's see, are you still adjusting? Yeah, you're still spotting, that's fine. We've still got guys in the forest, so I'm going to let you continue with that. I do think we are going to get a little bit more aggressive with our Abrams here. And have you hunt around this way. We should be fine. Especially with the smoke and stuff kicked up. And if not, I mean, I'm tempted to reposition this Javelin man, although we've seen the APS do some pretty phenomenal work. But it can't stop them all, right? And it looks like there's one more potential sound contact, although it just disappeared over here. Which would make sense. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks there. So it could be an HQ team. Actually, because there's a 5th one. Wow, we got a lot more tanks than I expected. Is that a tank? Oh no, it's BMP. I feel like we've got good control over this objective. Less so here, but at this point we're just annihilating the forces. Of course, at some point they're going to settle into their kind of defensive positions and we're going to have to find them. By some I think will be okay. Nice. Oh no, our tanks are picking off a bit of infantry. That's perfect. Alright, so next phase there's definitely going to be to probably move into some of the woods here with a bit of scouting force. Want to wait until my rounds have dropped in this forest. And then we're going to reposition the UAV probably towards this back area. I'm slightly nervous about bumping into other tanks. We have to watch some sight lines and things. Especially if he's up here. We have to watch if we've got sight lines anywhere. We should be, I think we're okay running along the back of the map here. But we could be, you know, up in for some trouble when we try and push into the objective itself. Although interestingly, my FO here, or fire support team here, hasn't spotted anything, but there is a bit of a ridge. Okay. We want to reposition one of our Abrams up in this direction to support. Beautiful. Oh, there's our rounds coming in now. Excellent. Alright, how do we want to do this? Well, I would like to start, and do I want to take him? No, I'll take my injured team. Right, I'm going to get you guys into vehicle, and then we're going to move just one team over in this direction and start to do a bit of scouting with them. Use good old Mark 1 eyeball to assist, and I think that's it. I'm going to maybe bide my time until this barrage is finished. Use the time on the clock a little bit. Oh, nice. Okay, good. Definitely causing some damage here. And we do see there's a head collision by there. Is that still a tank? Surprised if it is that my UAV hasn't spotted it. I may have to do some scouting here. Pretty happy with this mortar barrage. He's doing a good job. And then maybe we'll pull one back onto these buildings. Maybe use the heavier gear to knock out a few things. Or, you know, just direct fire from our Abrams. Okay, let's get you. And you're going to do a little bit of scouting for me, please, my friend. Just sneak into these woods. And then I'm okay holding this line for just now. I'll reposition you, although I'm not going to push forward until we get a confirmation of what's lurking in this valley. Okay, so I'm going to put a very slight cut in now. If I do come across, do get a confirmation of a vehicle here, I'll bring you guys back. If we finish our round and we're going to plan something else, again, I'll bring you back. Otherwise, I'm going to rest on my laurels for maybe 2 minutes, let this round finish out, let some scouts get in position, and otherwise get ready to kind of push on, hopefully to secure the objectives again without taking any more casualties. Okay, we are 3 minutes further forward. It's been fairly quiet. We have had a few minor incidents, just with an infantry squad. You can see a few buddies here appearing in the middle and getting engaged by some of our Abrams. Didn't work out so well for the infantry squad. Aside from that, we have been scooching some of our infantry here forward, and again, no additional spots identified. So I'm kind of happy enough now. We're going to push forward with our platoon into this position, just to kind of get visibility of behind the objective before we move in. Probably this unit to actually secure the objective themselves. And we did bring our hero here, our HQ tank, up to support this push as well from his position slightly further back. Two other things I've done, which you can see, is I've moved UAV over, repositioned to this side of the map, not really picking up anything beyond potentially a vehicle spot there, but that could be an old one which is now destroyed, and maybe a couple of BMPs near, which we had seen kind of puttering around earlier. In addition, we've decided to call in some more artillery, so this time I'm going to use the 155s, because why not? 3 tubes to engage this area on a medium mission. 5-minute call-in time, so we should be hitting around about the 40-minute mark, which gives us plenty of time to redeploy. I don't think there's much in there. There's a HQ, I think there's remnants of an infantry squad, but I mean, it's there, let's annihilate it. On the left-hand flank, we're going to hold 2 of our tanks in their position in the middle, and we're going to get the other 2, as well as the FO, to start scouting around this side, again, to get some firm eyes around the back of the objective before we go in and try and secure it. So that's where we are. So let's just crack on. But this is a vulnerable section as we push across this roadway. You know, potentially if they do have active tanks or even BMPs in good concealed positions I don't know about, then I could easily lose a Bradley and an entire squad, which kind of sucks. The route I've taken is relatively well concealed from bits where I think there might be someone. But, you know, no sightlines are perfect. These trees certainly don't block line of sight fully, so we never quite know. It's only these times where it's not a lot's happening, but you feel very tense. The other bit I need to be careful of is whether the Russians will get any reinforcements. But so far, so good. Yeah, okay, let's just roll straight into another minute, because I don't want to do anything else until these guys get in position. That was just some secondaries, thankfully. Until my 155 start falling. This is actually potentially a little bit close. If we go a bit off target, we could get unlucky and cause ourselves some damage. This is, of course, using his eyeballs rather than the drone to call this in, which is why I moved the HQ to this position here, just so we had a bit more flexibility with how we're using the UAV. Although interesting enough, no more firm spots from it, despite the fact that we've got some potential contacts. Again, these could be old sound contacts. They do seem to hang around a lot longer than I really like. I'm presuming there's at least some elements of force left somewhere, because they haven't given up yet, and this could well be them. Okay, so maybe a bit more belief in these tank contacts. And there's confirmation from my HQ via the UAV. Perfect. Okay, so we've got one T90 here guarding the church. Very nice little position. And potentially another one in this wood line. Now where... Ooh. That's presumably not far off being able to hit each other. Oh yeah, okay, I see why. You're just the wrong side of this house. Maybe there isn't a view through. Yeah, okay. That's him there. So potentially we could sneak forward and try and get a ridiculously keyhole slot. I'm not sure I'm that keen on that. Technically we could try in a different angle. Ironically, okay, I was going to say ironically this would have been a great angle, but no, it's not quite far around, which is why he is still in one piece. There's something we have to be aware of as we maneuver, but given he's behind that church, that does open up essentially an angle of maneuver for ourselves up in this direction. But I don't believe he's going to be able to see us, although it's always worth a check. How far around this building do you go? Okay, you do get to see in this field of sunflowers. Okay, but not on the hill beyond. Okay, good. So, let us use the terrain that we believe to be relatively safe is a strong word. Free from enemy view. I'll push up in this direction. Again, just maybe come up the back side of this hill, peek over, see what you can spot. Not had any indication that they've got any kind of ATGM units or anything like that hiding at the back, so I feel relatively secure in doing this. Except that's my B-fist. Don't want to be doing that. Although I could advance with you first and then, you know, ensure the way is clear for my tanks. We'll get you pushed up first, and then we'll have our friend here follow behind. We'll get you working in tandem. Okay, beautiful. And either we'll come around behind them, or we'll choose to engage in a separate way, but that's not our primary concern at the minute. We should be able to take care of not everything we need. He's obviously guarding the edges away into objective 1 here. I mean, again, that's also an option, is we just roll our Abrams up and get a site spot on, which may be what we'll do in the end. Many options, I don't need to talk about them all. Okay, you are now in position. So I would like this team to do a little bit of scouting for me. So let's get you out of the vehicle. We'll just dump you here and we're going to split you up and move you forward. Aside from that, let's just hit the big red button. So we don't talk ourselves away without anything happening. I also think that's interesting, but it's really good. I'm glad I repositioned that UAV, because now I know I don't want to send my Bradley in to the back, thinking I'll go in behind the buildings, protect me from anything over here. When in reality, all I would have done would expose myself to T-90 and would have lost the squad. Recon for the win. One other option we do have is, once we finish this mission, hopefully not destroying ourselves, yeah, I'm far too close, is just drop a whole bunch of 155 on them as well. If nothing else, might not take them out, but could give them a pretty bad day. Okay. A big old red button. I'd like to split off squad. Somewhere in here, what I'm looking for. Oh, we're all into one squad. You guys have lost you lost the javelin team, which I never went to recover. That's what I was going to do and forgot to do it. Alright, I'm going to get this team to do it. So, slight change of plan. You're not going to be advancing forward. You're going to come over here. And you guys are going to get out and buddy aid our brethren. Okay. Primarily because I want the javelin, but also I like using buddy aid. It's not that big a deal in game, but it feels right. I'll have you guys maybe move slightly in this direction and then scoot yourselves into these woods. See if you have any eyes. While Abrams still advancing up the left flank. No further movement from the Russians. And this is only resolved into one contact. I really want to see these 155s annihilate these buildings. Speaking of which, that gives me also an interesting potential. So I can put my Abrams in a kind of overview position down the valley here. Down valley, strong word, but then the crease here. Drop a whole bunch of 155 on this position. Potentially degrade the systems. Also potentially knock down the building. In which case that would open them up for a target. I could also simultaneously annihilate here with 155. It's going to kick up a lot of dust and smoke. Also bring in a second Abrams, so we've got them covering both angles. I have lots of options, all of which sound pretty exciting. Hey guys. Welcome to the party. I'm not sure I need you, but I will reposition you somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna go, I'll give these guys an order where to use them. I think probably the best bet is maybe to take over this central position and release our Abrams here. The other option is just go for a long range engagement against that T-90, which is, I think we'd win, but let's try and let's maximize our chances. So I'm going to give these guys an order and I'll come back. Alright, so I'm going to move second platoon up to take over those two positions in the middle, and then we're going to reposition the rest of first platoon to support the flanking effort on. Oh, not the worst button to push. Here we go. Not quite wreaking as much damage as I had hoped. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're absolutely going to go back and check out on that. We're definitely going to do some suppression. I don't know how much damage we're going to be causing to the HQ unit in this building. We may just end up using a Bradley just to annihilate them. Okay, so our infantry here. Looks like they've spotted an engaging part of an infantry team. I guess these guys are probably not in a great state, given we mortared the woods earlier. But more importantly, what happened over here? I think it might be this B-Fist, as it was coming up to support the tanks. I took a slightly more direct route. I think he may have just got sight of him. Yep, there we go. He just lights him up with his 25mm. Okay. Actually got penetration hit to opening. That's good. Excellent, okay. Let's go command phase. I think I'm going to move my Bradley into support, taking out that HQ team. I'm potentially going to mount up these guys to get ready for taking the objective. Not that we necessarily need to do that. You guys tired? No? Why are you no quick move? I don't know, but get in there. And although there are some stragglers on the road here, I'm not going to worry too much about that. And I'm going to push these guys forward into a flanking position down this valley. That's probably a bit of an overreach. I'll adjust that one shortly. Why don't I have one of you come... Actually, just peeking through these trees would be quite nice. And eventually, I think I would like you nestled up against this building. So actually do come... Yeah, do that. Facing down this way. I like that. I like that a lot. So, HQ man, have you finished your current mission? That's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Yes. Do you want to do anything with the mortars? I don't know. Potentially not. Well, another thing I want to do is get my other Abrams in position to push in on this the old-fashioned way if we feel a need. Which would be probably bringing you round... Well, just through into this objective, really. So let's just bring you into a supporting position here, and likewise. Good. You can see I'm, as the confidence grows, I make more and more bolder moves and less thought out, and that's usually where I take casualties. Right, we're going to have to wrap this up shortly. I'd love a direct hit on the HQ building. There goes that lonely unit, which I'm guessing was a crew from one of the abandoned tanks. Nice. Oh, did we just fire? Hang on. What did we just fire? What was that? Okay, I support that. Oh, I think it was just grenade. Ooh. Oh no, there it goes there. What is this? These just underslung grenades we're using? Yeah, okay, it looks like. Okay, interesting. We got laser warning over here. Which means we are not yet having everything our own way. We're here somewhere. Ah, okay, this could be reinforcements. Alright, things are not quite done and dusted yet. Okay, good. I'm going to make one tweak before I come back so I don't forget. So I'm going to grab my UAV. And I'm going to say, hey, can you find out what is going on over there? My B-fist is a little bit exposed here. And I'm going to get my Abrams to come over under cover of smoke. And then we're going to bring up the other two. It looks like the cavalry is coming, and we're absolutely going to want to stop that. Which might put a clock on being more aggressive and taking out this guy in the middle, so we can turn and face this new threat. Okay, right, we're going to wrap things up there. I think it's going very well. I'm definitely being more cautious in this episode. You know, we inflicted a lot of casualties on the Russians. We could easily probably just, you know, click, drag everyone, attack, move up the map, and we'd get a victory. But I am keen to try and keep this kind of approach where we try and minimise losses, because we've done phenomenally well thus far. I want to keep it going. But I think we will probably wrap things up in the next one, unless there's a lot of Soviet reinforcements. But we'll see how that goes. As ever, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all then. Cheerio!